Hi and welcome to another ACTS video. So the next stage that we're going to be looking at is going to be assessing. Now, I know that I have found within churches that have wanted to start community work, the first thing we tend to do is come up with great ideas of things we think the community wants. Which at times, maybe we have an informed opinion as to why we think certain programs need to be run. But a lot of the times, I believe we often do things that we just see other churches do. And as good as that might be, and I suppose ACTS does a little bit of that, we do want to inspire and encourage people with ideas of things that we see happening in churches around us or around Australia. But the main thing that we really do want is we want you to get ideas, but at the same time, we have to be really smart in whether we decide to take that activity and, pretty much implement it in our church. The reason why we need to be smart is because if you're limited in resources, if there's not a lot of money to go around, and if there's not a lot of manpower, you may actually run a lot of programs and just get really tired and exhausted. And you may actually use all your money to run programs that maybe weren't as beneficial as what another program could have been. So that's what we're going to look at today. And I do believe that there are many things that we can see, very popular is the food pantry idea, and which is fine. I definitely believe that it is beneficial. But at the same time, I think that there are many things that we have to put into place before we start something like that. And we learned a lot very quickly when we started the food pantry at our little country church. So I'm really happy to help you out with any questions that you might have, or just to be able to pass on to you our mistakes so that you don't make those mistakes as well. So I'm going to go into a little bit of the survey that we do. Now, we do suggest and recommend that you run 2 surveys. So one survey will be for church and the other survey will be for community. Once these 2 surveys are done, then we will go and start planning projects. So before we do any of that, we suggest through ACTS is that you do a volunteer assessment survey or volunteer form. And it looks a little like this. So it has a whole bunch of things listed on it. Now, the reason why you may get this survey and be like, there is so much stuff on there, we can't run all of this. That is not what this survey is for. What I basically did is I wanted to get as much information on here so that you guys, when you take it and when you see it, you say, hey, we're not running this, and delete it. So I've put as many ideas as I could think of so that it's already written there for you, not necessarily because you want to run all these programs. But one thing that I really did want to go into, and this is something that I believe many churches may not realize, is this section at the top here, which is really important. So what I've put on there is, so church that you currently attend or membership, whether you're a qualified professional or if you have a specific skill. I believe that sometimes we don't know what half our church's qualifications are. You may have a registered nurse and have no idea. You might have a graphic designer and have no idea. You may have someone who has like a certificate in like childcare. You may have people that have specific qualifications that we don't know about. And once you find out about those qualifications, those professions, or those skills, then you can actually say, hey, you know what? When we did our survey, and this is something that has happened in Gingin, we realized a lot of people struggle with depression. Well, one of our guys on our health team is actually a psychologist. So Dan, he is like perfect. Whenever we have anything that comes up with regard to mental health or anything like that, we know who to go to. We go to Dan. If we have someone who has had training in nutrition, guess who we're going to go to when we feel that, the community is interested in like cooking classes or in healthy eating workshops. So I think that's really important. I think sometimes we don't know the skills of our members. And by knowing their skills and their qualifications, it can actually help our planning stages really well. Okay, so the next question, which many people don't think, is we've asked, do you drive? And what type of license do you have? you will be surprised that there are some people who are very willing to just drive people around. There are some people who might not feel confident getting in front of a crowd. They may not be, they might not have another skill that they can use for, PA or, all that type of printing material, but they're happy to just pick someone up if they need a lift. So we're trying to just get all the information that we can from our members to see, where we can place them if they're willing to serve. And basically when we're short of skills, hey, let's go back to brother so-and-so because he said he was willing to pick people up. Do you own a car? What days and hours can you volunteer your services? And this is basically where we're going to get an idea of people's willingness to serve. People may skip that. People may fill in, hey, you know what? I am dying to serve. I would love to put my skills to practice and to use them to bless the church. I'm available every evening, or I'm available all day Sunday. So this is giving us an opportunity to say, hey, you know who's available on a Sunday? We're running, a health meeting. We need extra volunteers. We're running short. Hey, let's ring whoever, Anthony. Anthony said he was willing to volunteer on Sundays. So again, it's just giving our community service team some data that, we can use for projects and just to have on reference. Current child safety blue card. Just getting an idea of whether they're registered to help us out with community programs that involve children. And then from then on, we just list a whole bunch of skills. Now, in all of that, we have addiction recovery programs, lifestyle coaching, hydrotherapy. We have social nights, whoever's to fill out in this form, who's ever be interested in working on social nights, meetups, get together, game night, eat out groups, fitness groups, adventure recreation groups. Then we have acts of services, community outreach, so yard duties, inside home duties, home maintenance, rubbish disposal, car wash, simple house repairs, car repairs, dog, cat grooming, pet assistance, meal preparation. There's a whole bunch of lists. And then we have miscellaneous, which some people forget about, which I actually think is very important, but graphic design. If you have someone who's willing to, design flyers and write handouts, we have media management. So if there's someone in church who is just very happy to keep your church's Facebook page up to date, or someone who is very willing to, start a new page just for your community work, there are people who have no qualms about opening up a Facebook account for your church. And then written publications, whether there is, certain articles that you want to write, maybe there's local newspaper or local news agency or through your council where they invite people to write certain types of information. Maybe there's someone that's interested in doing that in your church. I would highly recommend this form. Like I said, there are so many resources that I have put together just for our little church. And Acts, I just want to share that with everyone. Our resources are free. The only thing that we charge for is the things that we have to pay for, like t-shirts. And banners and cards and lanyards and all that sort of stuff. And like I said before, all we charge is cost. Like, I'm not here to make money out of this. I just love serving. So I'm like the cheapest volunteer you can find. But anyway, so that's the form, and that's what we find really important is assessing your church to get the skills and to see what their willingness is to serve. The second survey, you will basically put together based on whatever was on this survey that you guys said, yes, we're going to do home maintenance. Yes, we're definitely going to start donating handmade gifts. So whatever it is that you decide from this list that you would like to run, so we will highlight them, write them down, whatever it is. And from there on, you will then do your community survey and list the things that you are planning on running. And when you do your community survey, you will just let them know. This is something that our church we've just really been we just have this passion and we just feel a desire to serve our community. And these are the programs that our church is equipped to run. And we just want to see what your feedback is. If any of these activities would interest you, then you will list off whatever things you have planned that you would like to run. And then you will always leave a space at the bottom of your survey. Again, I have a template for that, so you can get that off me, for them to suggest something that they're like, you know what, I've always wanted for, Gin to have this. And basically for us in Gin, mental health was the biggest thing. Everyone, that we surveyed was very interested in mental health. And that's basically what we ran with our monthly health meetings. We did 4 months of just mental health. So yeah, definitely leave a section in your survey where you will get your community's input as to what they feel is needed. And then once you collect all that information, you'll say, you know what, out of the 50 houses that we surveyed, 30 of them wanted something to do with mental health, or 20 of them wanted somewhere for their children to go. So from then you'll say, all right, well, we're going to ditch all these extra ideas because obviously no one was interested, even though we have the people that are willing to run it. The community wasn't interested, so we're not going to run something that doesn't benefit the community or that the community wants to support. And we're going to run these specific things which just had a lot of interest. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the next step, which is assessing your church and assessing your community. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video, and yeah, continue to be committed Adventists who just want to serve their community. See yous.